67, but and so, but this does not commit the city to completing that connection.
Right.
There's an understanding that it would, according to this plan.
And as far as what you were talking about, Cheryl, the impact fees and things like that.
Which we don't currently have in place. But you asked me typically kind of how the jurisdictions do it, and it's a couple of different ways.
And so if there were impact fees, the
you'd look to
of
see who would be having impact on that portion.
Who benefits from it?
Pretty much same thing.
And who gets the choice to? I mean, do they get a vote? I mean, the people.
Oh no,
charged.
you do a study looking at kind of the project and the origin and destination of the traffic and what percentage they have on that particular roadway.
And they can show up and say, we don't want that road and we don't want to pay for it. Of course.
No, because you would do a pretty scientific study of what the impact to the roadway would be.
Okay, so, all right.
So.
Any other questions? At this time, would open the floor to public comment. Anybody would like to comment? Now would be the time. That being the case, entertain a motion.
I move we approve new business item number 6.
Second. Motion Harrison, second Freeman, that we approve new business item number 6 to approve and accept the easements and rights of way for the final plat for the First Light Church of Gardner, FP-13-01, subject to the conditions listed. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay. New business item number 7. Consider establishing the city's contribution to health and vision insurance premiums for the 2013 and 2014 plan year. Laura, go ahead, please.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Tonight, we're going to be continuing our best practice of priority-based budgeting. And the purpose tonight is for me to present health insurance information to you and obtain council's input on the budget strategy of funding to maintain infrastructure and assets, and in this case, it's human assets. So next slide, please, ma'am. Health insurance decisions have 2 components. One is who's the carrier, and the second is how much will the city contribute to premiums. I'm here to assist council with the second component as it relates to the budget. Next, please. Priority-based budgeting is budgeting for outcomes with the result in mind, and it's a long multi-year planning process that also has an evaluation component. So previously, council set a goal to mitigate future rising healthcare costs. And then council agreed to staff's recommendation last year for a strategy aligning with that goal and to produce an incentive plan. And as it's shown here before you on this slide, the incentive strategy overall was for the council-approved premium amount in the amount of 100% of the high-deductible health plan for employee only and 80% for family and Tier 2. And in addition, you agreed to fund employee health savings accounts, $300 for employee only and $600 for family and Tier 2. So evaluating this particular incentive strategy, I would say that it was, under any terms, a success because 56 employees migrated due to that incentive plan last year, and now you have a total of 72% of your employees are covered by the high-deductible health plan. Next slide, please. A little further evaluation of the incentive strategy was not only was it a great success with the number of people who participate, but it was also within 1% of the budget numbers we estimated for you last year. As you can see, 2013 approved budget was $837,000. That includes that small vision component. And we're estimating now, including new positions and reorganization, $847,000. Your variance is 1.2%. So now, when you're doing priority-based budgeting and you have your goal, your strategy, and your evaluation, that also allows for ongoing evaluation so the city can react to changes, and now we have changes. So beginning July 1st, NPR will implement rate increases and will cease their funding to Employee Health Savings Account. So staff recommends council considering continuing their previous strategy of mitigating costs and funding your human assets that has proven successful. So as this slide shows, continuing the current strategy of the city paying 100% of employee only and 80% of Tier 2 and family, including the rate increase, and increasing the upfront funding to health savings accounts, as noted in your CAF, can be accomplished for approximately $36,000. Next slide, please. And then this is merely a detailed look at how I came up with that $36,000 impact estimate. The first section at the top, first column shows the approved budget where you are now that had an assumed rate increase built into it. Second column is when the actual rate increase came in. That's what the premium without the funding looks like. As you can see, we overshot just a little bit on an employee only. That's an annual difference. For employee only, we overshot $12.25, so that was actually, the premium was less than what we expected. And family and Tier 2 as shown. Family $83 annually, Tier 2 $24.29 annually. Middle section, that is merely adding in to the premiums above, the $300 for employee only, $600 for family and Tier 2. Second column, that's with the premiums above, will include the rate increase, and increasing staff's recommendation of $500 for employee only, $1,000 for family and Tier 2. Third column, the annual difference between the increased funding, $300 to $500, is $200, as shown below in that third column. $200 less $1,225 is $187.75. Annual difference for employee only, and that's the same math as you can see. If you increase $400, 400 plus 8309, $400 plus 2429, that's your enrollment. To the far right, budget impact, $33,000, and then we had some prorated folks for your reorganization and whatever down below, another $3,300. Total, $36,300, roughly. All those are approximates. So, staff respectfully request council consider continuing the successful incentive strategy and establish the premiums at an amount, again, 100% of high deductible for employee only, 80% of family and Tier 2, and implementing the slightly increased upfront funding to employee HSAs. Staff believes this accomplishes your goal of a combination of council strategy of asset management and fiscal stewardship. With that, I stand down and answer whatever you could come up with.
Questions?
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Laura. Appreciate the presentation. I have a question about the 2013 budget figures. Does that assume a projected, basically keeping the same rate of participation with the CHP as it currently stands right now, or a high deductible?
You're talking about for the new revised?
Yeah.
It does.
72%
It does.
next year. That does not assume that we have more individuals participating in the
It does not. It assumes the same folks you have now and with the prorated folks that we haven't all hired, the reorganization and stuff that we have.
But we can potentially assume that if we do go higher participation rate, we may be able to bring those costs down further.
You could. Because open enrollment, I believe, is Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. So the whole point of continuing this current strategy is because you have proven success.
Yep.
And staff believes, of course it's unproven, but we believe that if you remove that incentive of the upfront funding of HSA, that causes people concern, and people may actually leave and pick a more expensive plan. which will upset the economies of scale in all the different plans. So I can't venture to guess how